Yo, what is happening? My name is Apton and welcome to episode 14 of the Cyber series. In the last episode, we finished the exterior of the Cyber garage, but now we need to deck out the inside of this building. It's not looking very good right now, but by the end of this episode, it's gonna be fully furnished. I'm thinking truck spawners, workbenches, and maybe even some robot arms. I have some epic plans in store for this area, so let's begin. So we gotta start off by getting some hatches from Link's Logic. And with those collected, let's begin on the floor of this building. Real quick, I want to replace these smooth walls with posts. And now we gotta place down 3 large tiles on top of each other, just so that we can place this spawner right on top of it, right here. And that's actually gonna be 1 tile below the floor level. And that's going to allow us to cover up the wood right here with hatches and tiles. But real quick, before we do that, we need to plot shift all of these walls out of the way so that we can actually fit in the trailer. Because as a reminder, this is the trailer bay. So I've just gone ahead and plot shifted all of this out of the way. And by the way, if you have no idea what I just did, I actually have a guide on plot shifting, and that will clear up everything that's going on right here because it's a little bit complicated. Just a heads up, throughout this episode, we are going to be plot shifting a lot. Trust the process. Right now, I just need to get this trailer placed right here, but before I do that, I actually need to get the truck plot shifted as well, just because we want to actually be able to place the trailer on the same level. So I'm just gonna place that right there, and now we need to plot shift the trailer as well. And after all of that, we can now place in a bunch of hatches all the way along this edge right here, all the way to the back. And then in theory, I should be able to place an edge right here. So I'm just gonna use the smooth walls right here. And there we go, we got all of those in place. Now we just need to fill in this little gap right here. And we can just place tiles right here, but that might actually make the buttons Z-Fi on the spawner. So I'm gonna go ahead and place down a corrugated wall right here, because the corrugated wall is actually half a tile down. So if I go ahead and place down a tile right there, it's actually going to be a little bit above 1 tile. It's actually gonna be right in between. We're gonna have to place this right against the bottom right here, and just like that, that is going to be just slightly below, but not a full tile to the point that it's going to Z-Fi. So now we're just gonna place that all the way down the line. And now Jab's just got all of those spawners back, and that is actually what these spawners are gonna look like. That is looking awesome. Let me quickly respawn these, and it looks like we didn't quite place that right. That needs to go in 1 more stud so that this automatically hitches. So yeah, we gotta go rebuild this. We just need to place that 1 stud forward. There we go. Go ahead and test it. Is that going to actually work? Yep, that literally just automatically hitches. That is so satisfying. So now before the sun goes down, we need to take a trip over to boxed cars and get a long truck and a long trailer for the vault truck. Turns out Jab actually had everything we needed, so we don't even need to take a trip over to boxed cars. That's gonna save us a little bit of money. So for this one, I'm actually gonna have to place it 1 stud forward. So now for this, it's actually going to be difficult to place in the trailer in the correct spot, because we can't actually place the guide blueprint right here just because there's a door in the way. Even though it's not technically there, the game still thinks it is. So we're gonna have to place it from the other side. So I'm gonna place that right there and a large floor right there. And now we just gotta place this right here. That is 1 stud above right there. So now all we need is a smooth wall right here. And if everything has been done correctly, we should have a functioning vault truck spawner. Cross our fingers. Oh, I think that worked. I think that is, yep, that's working. Maybe not a good idea to open it in the building, but yes, it is working. Okay, so now what we need to do is make it actually look good. Basically do the same process we did right here. So now we gotta test and make sure that this is actually gonna work with the hatches. Oh, dang. Is that actually... It worked. That is surprising. Okay, yeah, it looks like even with the hatches, we don't even have to worry about it not working. That is awesome. So that means we can have a custom looking spawner even with the vault truck that relies on specific placements. So that is super awesome. Now, one thing that's kind of bothering me is that the wood of this doesn't really match the vibe. So we're actually gonna go ahead and place down some large tiles on top just to kind of at least cover up a little bit. And now with that on, that is actually looking super cool. We can actually put down a band of cyan neon wires all the way around, and that is actually gonna make it super awesome. That looks sick. All right, now we gotta actually make sure that that is going to work. So let's spawn these two things. And now, can you get out? Oh, that worked. It popped the wheels a little bit, but that did work. So that is all fully functioning. And my gosh, that looks absolutely sick, guys. Yeah. So now we're just going to move on to the next spawner. And for that, we're going to need to put in some more large floors. And we just kind of need to fill in all of these gaps. All right, so this is what we have come up with. We're actually going to put down a white border around here, and that's just gonna separate this section of the floor just because the grain is going in a different direction. Okay guys, so we've got all of that in. It looks a little bit weird. Once again, once I reload, everything will look a lot cleaner. So now the last spawner that we want is, I believe, just the utility vehicle XL. So let's just place that in the same way that we've placed in all of the other spawners. And with that in, I think everything is now complete in terms of spawners. Now for this next part, we just decided to do a chill building live stream, and during it I started working on putting in this wall for the door right here. Jab was being Jab. Like, stand here. Bro, no! Bro! Then we put in some rectangle inlets on the wall around the door, which I put some cyan neon wires around, and it actually ended up looking pretty sweet. Next, I went and grabbed some gold wood so I could build some gold pipes on the walls to cover up the paintings that show through to the inside of the building. And then I just cleaned up this back wall right here and covered up the remaining paintings in this part of the building with just some birch walls, smoothing a lot of things out with wedges. Then I just filled in this wall right here and cleaned up the gap between the ceilings, and finished off the stream by putting some pipes a little bit lower than the ceiling, just going across the two walls. And then we put in some wood sweepers, kind of like air conditioning vents. And by the way, there will be a link in the description to that live stream in case you're trying to recreate the cyber garage exactly, because that was probably a little bit hard to follow. But now that we have all of that done, the interior of the cyber garage is looking super clean. The only thing left to do now is just put in some workbenches and some robotics. I cannot wait to get started. So to start off, we're getting some straight conveyors. I've just gone ahead and got everything we need laid out right here. So I'm just going to start off by placing down a tile right here, and that's going to give us the right measurements to place in a tile right here, making sure that there's no gaps or anything underneath. And I'm just going to place that all the way along, and that's going to allow me to place these straight conveyors one tile back. And now that I got that in, I'm just going to destroy all these tiles, and I'm going to plot shift these conveyors out of the way because I want to place some things inside of them. So with those out of the way, I'm just going to place down a row of tiles, and then I'm going to place down some 1/4 wedges right on top of those. That's just going to elevate them by a tile. And now with that in, I'm just going to destroy all of those tiles that we just placed. Then on the side of this wedge, I'm going to place down one of our birch tiles right here. And then I'm going to place down some upside down wedges. We're actually going to do 3 rows of this, making sure it's all placed against this tile, which is also 1 tile upwards. And with those all in, I'm just going to place another tile on this side. And then for this side, I'm going to actually have to plot shift the wall out of the way because it's in the way for me. And now I'm going to place in these remaining tiles. With those conveyors in there, it's actually looking super sick. That was such an easy cheesy design, but yeah, that looks really, really cool. And you guys can see that since we placed those a tile upwards, you can actually see that the conveyors go down by a tile, and it looks like there's some feet for the workbench, which actually looks pretty cool. Alrighty guys, now we're at the tropics. We literally just need a couple lasers. These are really, really expensive. I think they're like 11,000 lumber bucks. Yep, we need 2 of those, and doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to afford those, so hopefully Jab can get them. Jab, what are you doing? Bro, we need 2 items. What? Jab, what is this driving you're doing? Bro, you are definitely damaging both vehicles right now. And you claim to be a good driver. What is this? The lasers are despawning. Come on. I kind of need you to buy some things. Okay, Jab, what are you up to? What is happening right here? And we're also gonna need to grab some things from Fine Arts. All right, so we're getting some Arctic Light paintings. What's up, Jab? Can I have more money? Is that an actual question? Jab, are you really asking me for more money right now? I'm at 0. Wait, do you not have enough to afford another arc? Oh my gosh, those are way more expensive than I thought. We actually need 2 more gloomy seascape ones too, so that's gonna be a lot of money. Yeah, I guess we're really poor. I did not anticipate this. Yeah, we need a lot more money. We're gonna need 50,000 in order to afford what we need. We need another Arctic Light one as well. No, Jab, we're not doing an ice run. No, not again. We are not doing an ice run. So we're doing an ice run. I'm actually a pro at this, so just look at that. Look at that, Jab. Look, I've actually gotten so good at this. Look, oh my gosh. How have I done this? Wait, no, bro. Jab, why have you made me do this? No, I was so close that time. Did you see me? I got so close, bro. That was actually impressive. Okay, second time's a charm. We are going just, oh gosh, no. Oh, give me a moment. Just gotta grab my tiny floor, and that didn't work. Okay, let's just do this. The first time, this is our first attempt, actually. So first time's a charm, right? Yeah, that's how that works. Pro skills, look at that. Look at that. Look, I did it, Jab. No, you don't get a try because, I said so. I mean, that was the first try, so not like you could do it better. I would not fall here. Oh my, no, Jab! I'm so pro and good at this. Okay, yeah, let's see if you could do any better, Jab. I don't think you can match my first attempt. Alrighty guys, well we didn't get quite enough to finish off buying the rest of the paintings that we need, so I think we're gonna have to do something else for money, but we do have the lasers that we need to finish off what we were doing right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and place down some conveyors, one right there, and then another one placed right here, and then we can place down a little tile right here, and we're gonna fill that in with birch wood. And now with that placed in, you guys can see that there's actually a little bit of a gap right here. If we place that one tile downwards, it's actually going to perfectly line up with everything, but I think we're gonna have to plot shift like everything in order to do that. So I'm just gonna get the placement marked right here with some tiles, and then we're gonna just plot shift all of these out of the way. Then we're gonna place down our conveyors, one right here and the other one right here. Destroy the tiles, and that's actually gonna be completely flush with that. Jeb's just gonna get all of those back in place. So now we have this. This is actually looking pretty cool. I realize I haven't really explained what this is going to be. We're basically trying to build some sort of laser cutter. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and get a small tile, place it right there, and then place another one on there. So that's gonna be in line. Then I'm gonna take a thin countertop and place it right there. And we're gonna fill that in with some birch wood, and just like that we have a pretty cool casing for this. Then we have these lasers which Jab has turned on, so we can just place this directly against there, and another one right over here to make it all symmetrical. And yeah, that's looking pretty sick. It kind of looks like a laser cutter. Obviously it doesn't exactly look like one, but it's the future, okay? Now for the next workbench workbenches, we're gonna need some things from fancy furnishings. So we're gonna need 7 ovens and 8 dishwashers. So let's get to buying. Alrighty, that is going to be all of those. So, oh gosh. Okay, we got all of them. There we go. That is actually impressive that all of that is just staying in the truck. Jab, what's happening? Where am I? Someone help me. Oh gosh. Okay, we're here. We've made it inside the building. Free me, please, Jab. No, stop it. Stop it. I am literally stuck. Okay, there we go. Bro, how many times did you press that button? You're trying to drain my money. That's not cool. So for this next workbench, I'm just going to have to remove part of the floor so I can place some things inside of the floor. So I'm just going to place down an oven right here. We're going to place them 4 in a row like so. Now I don't really want to repeat myself too much, and I'm going to have a tutorial up pretty soon on how to build all of these workbenches. So if you're interested in knowing how I built all of these, or if you want to build some for yourself, there will be a link in the description of this video to that tutorial once it's out. So yeah, I'm just gonna build the rest of the workbenches. Now, I actually want to put in a 3D printer over here because, you know, we have a laser cutter. A 3D printer just kind of is very on theme with sci-fi. So let's go ahead and place down a little tile right there. Then I'm going to place a countertop on top of that. And then I'm going to place an upside down table right here. And then place another one that's right side up. And then another countertop and a tile to cap it all off. I'm actually going to fill that in with birchwood right there. And yeah, that's looking pretty good, but if we put a wood detector inside of there, I think it's actually going to look like a little dispenser for a 3D printer, which it kind of does. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now over here, I want to add some neon wires. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide a lever right down here. Then I can take a wire all the way over to here. I'm just going to put an orange neon wire along the front right here. Let's just extend that with one more wire, and yeah, that is looking pretty sick. The next step is to earn a little money so that we can afford more paintings to put in the wall decorations. So I went ahead and disguised myself on an alt account with a different way of typing so they wouldn't know it's me. Hey, can you build me a decent wall around my plot? Yes! That's a pretty hard yes. What style? Sorry, Caps. Could you send me a picture of your base? Do you think you can work with that? Likely. I'm pretty handy with the hammerhead tool. Don't mind me asking, what's with the capital letters? It was a misinput. How about 1 mil? Is that good? That's pretty good. Bruh, my cat is on my shift key. Lamau. How high is it? This design is 1,444 studs high. 14. Sorry, there is cat fur in my keycaps. Lamau, please don't use caps lock. It is intimidating. I will work on that. All right, mate, you gotta get that cat of you. This is him. I dressed him up for Easter. Pretty unique. Is that even a cat at this point? 6 legs. He is genetically modified and has disabilities. My cat is a shark, by the way. The genetic modification allows him to shapeshift his legs. I have woken up and he was a potato before. Sorry, I fell asleep. That's fine. At least you didn't have to wake up to your cat being a potato. So with that very productive conversation out of the way, let's begin building this person a wall. Okay guys, so we have finished this wall for this person. It's looking pretty cool. They wanted kind of like a sci-fi wall, and I think it looks pretty cool the way it is. We basically agreed upon 1 million for all 4 walls, but we only managed to do one of the walls, so we only did 1/4 of the work, so I think we're gonna only be able to get 1/4 of the money, so that's gonna be 250k, which is still gonna be enough to finish the rest of the garage interior. So I think that will be good. Alrighty, they have just sent the money over to Jab, 250,000 lumber bucks, which is awesome. I don't know if it's gonna last, but it's always nice to have some money. So right now we're in the tropics. We're just grabbing some logic that we need for these wall decorations. Pretty soon we're gonna go grab some fine arts paintings as well. But yeah, we just need a ton of buttons, levers, and pressure plates. And now we've gone down to the fine arts shop. We're just grabbing some paintings. We need a little bit more. As a reminder, we did get some, but we didn't get enough for what we want to do. So we're just getting some extra real quick. And now that we got all of this logic and all of these paintings, it is now time to begin working on these screens that we're going to be putting right here, which is super exciting. So I'm going to start off by taking this gloomy painting right here, and I'm going to place it right here. And this looks kind of like a computer screen, except we're gonna put some things around it to really make it look sci-fi. So I'm just going to plot shift this gloomy painting out of the way so I can place this orange painting right here. I'm gonna place it facing forward like so. Then this is getting a little bit hard to keep track of, so I'm just gonna place a blueprint right there so I can remember where I place that. Then I'm going to take this, plot shift this out of the way, and then I'm gonna take another title unknown painting and place it right above, one stud above, and now I'm just going to go ahead and destroy that because we only needed that. And now I'm going to plot shift that out of the way. Then I'm gonna take a 1/1 wedge and I'm gonna place one right here and then another one right there. Then I'm gonna take another wedge and I'm gonna go up 1, 2, 3, 4 studs, and then I'm going to do another one right next to it. Then we're gonna extend it by one more, and it's really hard to see what we're doing right now, but once we get it all done, I think it's going to look pretty epic. So I'm just going to plot shift these out of the way now, and that's gonna allow me to do the vertical bits. So I'm just going to place in one right here and one on the other side, and I think I'm gonna need some 1x1x1s right here, and that should be all of those done. Now it's time for even more. So I've got some levers right here. I'm gonna place one right here, and I'm going to have to plot shift these out of the way to get the other ones in. We're going to do it on all 4 corners, so I'm going to place another one right there, and then some on the top, one right there, and another right there, and Jeb is getting those all turned on. Now I'm going to take this wall behind that wire right there, and I'm going to plot shift it out of the way. Then I'm just going to place some tiles like that. That's going to allow me to take a red neon wire and place it against it like so, and Jeb says that that looks perfect, so we can now destroy all of these. And basically with the TV and everything in, only this cap right here is going to be visible. So now the next step is to actually have everything visible so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to reload my slot real quick and get all of the plot shifted bits back in place. So I'm just going to load up right here, and as you guys can see, this is actually looking super awesome so far. We've done it all correctly, but as you guys can see, some things look a little bit weird, like this part dips down, and I just want to make that look a little bit more seamless, so I'm going to turn off all of these. As you guys can see, that little red dot right there is just the red neon wire that we placed, looking super awesome. But yeah, now I'm just going to take a neon wire and I'm just going to outline this right here, and that's just going to cover up these little awkward bits. So with this one in, I think that's going to cover everything up sufficiently. That looks a whole lot better. We can turn these back on, and yeah guys, that is actually looking sick. Now we just need to do the exact same thing for a second one right above it. Alrighty guys, we got 2 stacked on top of each other. That is actually looking pretty sick, guys. Jab is currently stuck in the workbench. I don't know how he got there. Yeah. This is his life now, I guess. Alright, well, we'll just leave him there. Let's just add some decorations to the top right here. And just like that, those little things just kind of fill in the space above, and I really like the look of all of that. That is looking super sick. Now we need to divert our attention to over here, where I want to put in some wall decorations. It's gonna kind of look like, I don't know, some blueprints. I think it would really fit in with a garage workshop kind of thing that we're going for. So we're gonna start off by getting ourselves a bunch of countertops filled in with walnut wood. Now I'm gonna take an Arctic light painting and place it right there. Then I'm gonna place another one right here. Then I want to place the other ones kind of like this, but I'm gonna have to plot shift these out of the way in order for everything to be all seamless and on the same level. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and place down some tiny floors to mark those positions, just like that. And now I can place that one stud back and do the same for the other, and then plot shift the paintings out of the way entirely. And now we can finally start placing in our countertops. So I'm actually gonna get a large tile and place it right about here and right here, and that's going to allow me to place these one stud out, and that's what's gonna give us the effect with only the outline of the frame visible. So now I'm just gonna place these all the way down. So we're gonna need some thin countertops on this side. Now Jeb can get those back in place, and yeah, that's looking pretty good. Like I said, it kind of looks like blueprints, which is kind of what we were going for since this is a little workshop. Yeah, I just think it really looks pretty cool, especially just as a filler for that area, because we just needed something to fill up that wall and make it look a little bit less plain. What's up, Jab? Where are we going? Oh. Is that my first axe over there? Jab's throwing the first axes over here. I'm not sure what for, but that's cool. We still have our basic hatchet. I totally forgot all about this thing. But yeah, do you have an idea for that? Oh yeah, that's a pretty cool place for our first axes. I mean, this is a pretty fitting place for axes. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's just put these on here. That's pretty cool. Our first axes. Well, that's looking pretty cool right there. We got some shelves. Super simple, and we can just store a bunch of wood on there. So yeah, it feels great to have that all done. We have a little bit of a mess in here. As you guys can see, we have a bunch of logic and everything, and to use all of that up, we're actually going to be putting in, finally, what I've been waiting for this whole time. I cannot wait. We're gonna put in some robot arms sticking down from the ceiling, just doing various tasks for the trucks. So this is going to be super awesome. So we're gonna have it kind of on like a little track, kind of like a 3D printer track, and that's going to make it look like the robot arms can go wherever they need to in this little space right here. So for this track, I'm just going to grab all of the things that we need and get them all filled in before we start. So we're going to need 70 posts. So now we've got most of the things filled in. I'm just gonna start building while Jab is grabbing some more walnut wood to finish off these. So we're gonna start building some tracks. This one's gonna be 3 studs away from this side of the building. We're just gonna place those all the way down. And then in between that, we're gonna take our walnut countertops. We're gonna place them on the ceiling like so. Now I'm gonna sandwich that with some more posts. And I'm just gonna go ahead and place in a post to cap that all off. And then we're essentially just going to do the exact same thing on the other side, just 5 studs away from this wall. So now that we got those 2 tracks in, I'm just going to add a 3rd track that's just going to move along them. It's going to go perpendicular to the 2 that we have already put in. And in concept, it should be able to move from here to here just along the track. Obviously, it won't actually be able to, but we're using our imagination for this build. So now I'm going to take a pressure plate, and I'm going to place it right here on this track, and I'm going to place another one on the other side right here. And as you guys can see, we just have like this metal plate right here. Then I'm gonna put a button right here and then another button on the other side. You guys can see that it kind of looks like a wheel that moves along the track. That's what I'm going for with the buttons. We don't have a whole lot of things that are circular in Lumber Tycoon 2. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And just like that, we have a little cart that looks like it would move along this track. It actually looks pretty convincing, not gonna lie. Now, using this line in the ceiling, we can actually see where the next cart is supposed to go. So we're gonna put another cart on this track directly in line with the other one. Now we got both of the carts in, so attached to both of the carts, we're just going to place another track from this side all the way to the other. Now I've almost got the third track in. I just need to plot shift some things right here because these are going to get in the way. And with that wall plot shifted out of the way, I can now place in the posts. But yeah, now we have the third track in, and honestly, those little carts are looking really convincing as things that can actually move. They do look like they would move across the track, so that's looking pretty cool. Now I need to go 9 studs away from this wall right here, which is where we're going to put the first cart for a robot arm. So this is going to be super awesome. I'm just going to go ahead and place down a pressure plate right here. Then we're going to need to put down 2 tiles right here. And I'm going to put in another pressure plate right here. And spacing these pressure plates out a little bit allows me to put a little bearing in the middle. So I need something that is round, and I'm kind of thinking a wall light from Fancy Furnishings for that. So I've got a couple of wall lights, and while I'm here, I'm actually gonna grab some toilets. Trust me, it is related to the robots. It's a little bit weird, but we do need some toilets for this build. So now I want to glitch a wall light inside of these pressure plates, so I need to plot shift these out of the way. So with those plot shifted out of the way, I can now place a wall light right there. It does look like it would rotate, so that is what we need. So now I'm just going to get this wall light out of the way because I feel like it's gonna get in the way. So now I'm going to take a short smooth wall and kind of make like a little circle right here, just like that. And then I'm going to take 2 short smooth walls, place one right here. And then I'm going to smoothen these edges out a little bit with some wedges. And this is the base for the robot arms. So the robot arms are going to be hanging upside down, obviously. And in concept, they just move around and do different tasks. But yeah, now I'm just using some 1/3x2 wedges to kind of bend the robot arm to go this way, and then I'm gonna bend it over this way, make it go down like to about here, just like that. That's looking pretty good so far. So now it's time to actually put in a claw for this robot arm. So I'm going to real quick put in some wood detectors. That's just going to give us a pretty solid base to put in a claw right here. You guys can see how that's gonna work. So now I'm gonna need to plot shift these wood detectors out of the way so that we can actually place the claws. Now we're gonna place 2 tiles against here so that we can elevate this claw a little bit so that it will look like it's more protruding out of the middle of the wood detectors. And yeah, that is going to be the claw. It's looking pretty good, and it's gonna look even better with those wood detectors in there. Jab's gonna get those back in. That is looking really, really nice. Now we need some circles and some motors to make it look like this thing is actually going to rotate on those joints that it has, and we're gonna do that with toilets. So I'm gonna place in a toilet right here, and man, that is pretty bright. I think we might have to remove these neon wires here in a second, but yeah, I'm just going to do that on that side, and in order to place one in on the other side, I'm gonna have to plot shift that one out of the way. So got that out of the way. I'm just gonna place this right about here, and just like that, that should be looking pretty good. And just like that, Jab's got those back into place. Oops. Mechanics. This is perfectly normal. I forgot that you can sit in toilets. No, okay. So now I'm just gonna place in the other joint right here, and that should do it right there. And just like that, Jab's gone ahead and got those back into place. So yeah, you guys can see that it kind of looks like some motors. That's at least what we're trying to go for. Now to make everything look like it's all wired up and mechanical, I'm just going to put in some neon wires just to make it look like it's all wired up and motorized. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm just gonna remove these cyan neon wires for now because they are really bright. I think we might be able to replace them with regular wires. And I actually forgot to put in some buttons on the side of the little cart right here. We want to make it look like this thing can move across this track as well. And with that in, I think that's actually this claw right here, this little robot arm, all complete. At least for now, it's looking pretty awesome. So now this next robot arm, I'm going to place 14 studs away. So I'm going to go ahead and place in a pressure plate right there. And much like the other one, I'm just going to place in another pressure plate right here, 2 tiles downwards. And then I'm going to place in a wall light right inside of them. And now the base of this is going to be a little bit longer, a little bit further down than the other one. But yeah, I'm just placing in 3 smooth wall stubs. This robot arm is going to be very similar to the other one that we did, but it will have some differences. This robot arm is more going to specialize in things like carrying wood just because it's right next to the trailer over here. So the idea is for it to be actively loading wood into the trailer. But yeah, it's just gonna kind of snake this way and then go over to the trailer over here. So here's the shape that I have kind of come up with. You guys can see I'm using a lot of different kinds of wedges to pull this off, but yeah, it kind of looks like a little hook. We're gonna put some toilets to make it look like there's some joints right here that are motorized. But real quick, I'm just going to fill all of these in. And now much like the other robot arm, I'm just going to put in some more wood detectors against this and then plot shift them away. And then on top of 2 small tiles, I'm just gonna place down a couple of 1/2 by 1 wedges on each side. And then against that, I'm gonna place a couple of tiny floors. We're going to kind of make this not look much like a claw and maybe more like a forklift. I'm gonna place down a couple of wedges right here. Then I guess we're gonna need to fill in that gap with some small floors. So now I'm gonna add some like tiny tiles. These little tiles right here are gonna hold wood on them. They're kind of gonna be like forklift tines. Looks like Jab is back. He said he got wood. Is that walnut wood or wait, did you actually get coal wood? That's where you've been. So let's just go ahead and fill these in. And yeah, that looks like a little plank of wood that this thing is carrying. That looks pretty dope. Now we need to put in the toilets right here and right here to look like motors. Alrighty guys, I have spent quite a long time trying to get the placement of these toilets perfect, and I think we've come up with something pretty good. We did have to use some small tiles to prevent it from Z-fighting. It's looking all motorized right now, and I really like the way that it's looking. I've just realized we haven't put the buttons on the track cart, so let me do that real quick. So yeah, there we go. We got that cart done. That's looking pretty good. But yeah, I think the last thing to do is actually to activate all of these levers, and we're gonna place them against the pressure plates right here on all 4 corners, and they're just gonna kind of look like they're supporting this track right here, like they have a grip on it. So I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Just like that, those carts are looking really cool. I like the way that everything has turned out. Now we're on to some finishing touches. I want to do something to this little space right here because it's kind of empty. We do have these cyan neon wires that we removed from that spot, so I think it would be kind of cool to do like a little truck icon, kind of like what we did right out here, except these aren't gonna be actually turned on because that would be too bright. Something like this, that looks pretty sick as kind of like a little garage icon. I like the look of that. And then I also thought it would be kind of cool if we put a CS right here for Cyber Series, just to kind of fill up that space. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like the look of that. One final touch that I wanted to add is just an orange neon wire going through this actual claw arm just to make it look a little bit less blue, because as you guys can see without it, it's just really dark over here. So this just really gives it that color, that nice orange color. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. And after reloading, I think that is actually everything in the cyber garage completed. So yeah, that is super awesome. Let's do a quick tour. As you guys can see, we have these TV monitors. These are super cool. I'm really proud of the way that these have turned out. I think they look so cool. We got a little 3D printer over here on this little workbench using some ovens and various things. We got this little workbench over here with a bunch of axes on it using dishwashers and various blueprints. And then over here we have this little thing. It looks like something you would put a blueprint on and use to like write plans for something, and it just kind of fits with the blueprint wall decoration right above it. Then we got this side over here with this little workbench right here and a little file cabinet where you can put all of your files or whatever. It's looking super nice. On the ceiling, we've got some vents and pipes. And then over here on this wall, we've got various things like this vault truck icon and the Cyber Series icon. It's looking super cool. And then we got all of these spawners in here, which just work super well. And they just look so clean and futuristic compared to just a regular spawner. I think we have done a really good job on it. And then we have this over here, the laser cutter with Jeff just disappeared with this little workbench right here. And then finally, what I am most happy about is these robot arms. I think they are the coolest things ever. As you guys can see, I think you guys can kind of imagine these actually moving. Yeah, I am poor, Jeff. Thanks for noticing. Oh my gosh, 60K. I mean, to be fair, I totally picked up on what you did when we built for that person. I kind of realized that you totally were whispering to that person in Roblox chat to give you all the money, and I had no idea. Yes, you were, Jab. Why would they give you all the money when I was the one who initiated everything? I think you got scared because of your six-legged cat. Honestly, that's kind of likely. That's probable. And of course, Jab's got everything all wired up, so you can open up the doors with these levers over here, or you can go ahead and respawn things with the buttons. Everything is respawnable, as you guys can see. Or of course, you can press these buttons right here in order to respawn them because they poke through, which is so awesome. But yeah, the build looks so sick at night, by the way. Honestly, such a cool build, especially at night because it glows so well. I just love this building so much, honestly. By the way, guys, if you want to support the channel, make sure you check out my merch store game, link in the description. Here you can find the brand new Apton pants. Jab actually has his own shirt now, which looks awesome, and the Apton shoulder pal, which I've been wearing throughout the episode. Here you can get all of these things and more for your avatar. As always, huge thank you to the members of the Apton channel for making these videos possible. But yeah, with that said, I'll see you in the next video once it's out. See ya, guys!